this working? Yes. I'll be telling you, or perhaps telling myself, about how we will build rational citizens. And not to surprise you later, I will tell you from now that this is the road much less traveled. I was having dinner the other day with a bunch of friends. I don't do that quite often now, but I do go out to dinner, believe it or not. And one of the guys there asked me, what do you do for a living? And I said, I'm in the education field. So he's like, oh. And I'm like, yes, I'm in education. He's like, what do you teach your students? Physics, chemistry, biology? And I'm like, yeah, but I try to make them think for themselves from time to time. And I thought this was, you know, a rather something we agree on. We want to graduate people who can think for themselves. And when I say that, I'm sure that all of you will agree with me, right?
Yes.
Yes, good. And this guy asked me why. So I was like, I wasn't prepared for that. I was like, you know, because they should think for themselves to make a change, blah, blah, blah. And I went on to give him a great talk on 201. But then I went back home and I asked myself, do we really want that? Because be very careful. Once you teach those students how to question your authority, or authority in general, they will question your authority. And I've done that in my classes. And the first time I did it 12 years ago, because I am that old, believe it. I know I don't look it, but I'm old. I didn't like it. One of my students told me, who told you so? And I'm like, what? What do you mean, who told you so? I have a PhD. And I didn't like it. So just keep that at the back of your head once you're teaching students to become rational citizens. Education, I love this quote, by the way. Education makes people easy to lead, difficult to drive, easy to govern, but almost impossible to enslave. So that guy at the dinner the other night, I hope he would reach a place where he would be begging for followers. Because for us to follow someone from now on, I hope we would think about it and we would question his authority or her authority. If I ask you, what are some of the goals of education? I'm sure you would tell me, preparation for life, a reflection of life itself, blah, 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 great. And one thing which I agree totally with Ren, preparation for the future. I don't know, because I really don't know, as Ren said, what will happen in the year 2056. But I do hope that instead of giving them knowledge, we do give them skills. And that's why we want to build them rational. If we go to a definition of citizenship education, we notice that it is about enabling people to make their own decisions and take responsibility. And that is a lot of empowerment. Why? Because by taking decisions, you are teaching your students to become risk takers. You are teaching them to be part of the process. You are telling them it's okay to make mistakes and to take responsibility for those mistakes. I remember the first time I had to make a decision was at the age of 7, where it was a very important decision, by the way. I had to make a choice between a pizza and a pasta. And I didn't really know what to do. And my father said, you take the decision, but if it didn't, really, ما كان طيب ملحق علي. And I think that taught me a lot that day. Because both of these will lead to, as Afif was saying earlier on, Ran and Sarah, so student empowerment. Our students need to be empowered, just like EduChange today. These are empowered, motivated students who organized this event, and I'm really proud to be here. Yes, a big round of applause. Thank you. Great job, by the way. So hopefully somewhere, somehow, someone made something right in our educational system. These are, you know, some kind of the product of our educational system. Without student empowerment, we cannot further. So great. We can all go home now and do some rational work. It's not that easy, because nobody is born a good citizen. And no nation is a democracy. We have to know that this is a very long path. It's a path that should be constantly updated, as Ziad said earlier. And one thing which I want to stress on, we cannot cut off youth. These are stakeholders, you guys. We cannot cut them off. So, how we do all of that? How can we build rational citizens? critical thinking. We need to teach those students how to become critical thinkers, how to think for themselves. As the video showed us, critical thinking is thinking about outside the box without a cross, without crossing out those answers who are outside the box. Just for the fun of it, one of the I think I'm going backward. Okay. One of the definitions is engaging in reflective skepticism. It's not, critical thinking does not mean you question everything. It means questioning things when you need to question things. It's reasonable and reflective thinking as well that will enable us to make decisions. It's a whole bunch of skills, from evaluation to analysis to inference, okay, to self-regulate. And I'm not really reinventing the wheel. These are actually blooms, okay? At the moment, our educational system are at the bottom of the pyramid. We are teaching students to regurgitate all the information that we're giving them. We should be focusing more on evaluation, analysis, and synthesis. I'm not sure if we are really doing that, because even if Socrates, the father of rationality, raises up now and tells us, let us do some thinking, our answer would be, we are too busy preparing for our exams. So, at the moment, students are focused on grades. Grades means success. Tell me what you want me to do. Tell me what you want me to write down, miss. Stop babbling. What should I write down for my notes? These are questions that we are often asked in the class. Therefore, there are challenges that we face. As teachers, as students, administrators, we face challenges towards teaching critical thinking. What are these? Plenty. One, time. Teachers have to finish the academic content of their classes. If they don't, they are sacked. If the teacher's success is measured by how many students she can get past the Lebanese baccalaureate or the IB or the French bac. And critical thinking needs time. However, the important thing is that critical thinking is not assessed in our assessments. Why? Because we cannot assess critical thinking only in exams. We need performance assessment. We need, as Sarah said, to get our hands dirty, to actually engage with students and observe them doing things, doing critical thinking, not only writing about it. Teacher's role. I don't know about you, but when I first became a teacher, I enjoyed being an authority. And that's something we need to change. We need to let down the authority. We need training in that perhaps. We need awareness. But it needs work, and it's okay, it's not a big deal, we just need to learn about it. Students' resistance. Who said critical thinking is easy? It's not. We may face students' resistance, but we need to work around that, because if we don't, هلا موسم انتخابات بنروح لعند البابا ونسأله مين بده يصوت؟ ما بعرف لمين بده يصوت. So these are things that we need to work with. What can be done? First, acknowledge the problem. Stop hiding our heads in the sand. We have a problem. That's why we are here today. Second, engage in critical thinking ourselves. How do you expect us to teach critical thinking to students when we are not critical thinkers ourselves? If the boss tells me, Yara, you should do 2 exams, I can't ask why. If I can't ask why, how would I let my students ask why? Integrate assessment integrate critical thinking in assessment and teaching, and I'm sure Dr. Marge will probably be talking about assessment later on, and that will be illustrated later. But until critical thinking is a part of our assessment, it can never be part of our teaching. What we measure is what we get. Move towards not student-oriented, nor teacher-oriented, but rather learning-oriented. We are here to learn from each other, students and teachers. Last but not least, engage your students. These are the stakeholders. Only then can we speak about rational citizens. Finally, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. I don't agree with that, although it's a wonderful quote. The outstanding teachers are those who neither show you where to look nor tell you what to see, but rather give you the tools so that you look for yourselves and you decide what to see. Thank you.